All right, everybody, welcome back to another episode of Deep Dive. What episode is this, Aaron?
I think this is 12 for us.
Man, time flies. Time flies.
Absolutely.
So, this is episode 12 on Jordan Peele, director, writer, actor, comedian.
Yeah. The man
He's
does
done
it
quite
all.
a bit. Yeah, he does it all.
Yeah, absolutely.
What do you think when you heard about his jump to being a director?
Well, one thing I want to say is kind of fuck you, Jordan Peele.
Really?
Son of a bitch.
Really?
Yeah, because of that motherfucker, I've had to hear Ron
Oh, you are that in my phone.
for God knows how long. Like Uber rides, before I had a car and shit, Ron? Like, you motherfucker.
Oh,
Yeah.
hell yeah.
But it's funny. I guess people remember the name a little more now because of him. But still, fuck you, Jordan Peele. Bitch.
It's that notoriety you don't want.
Yeah, exactly. So today we thought we would talk about Jordan Peele's filmography. Luckily, it's only 3 movies this time.
It's only 3 movies.
Three good movies. Well,
on the whole,
2.5
as you would say, like Preparation H. I wasn't shocked when I heard he was jumping into directing, but what I was shocked about is it was horror. Because I watched Key and Peele for years.
Yeah.
And these guys are hilarious, man. Him and Keegan.
I don't remember his name.
I don't remember his name either. It's a longer than.
It's like something Keel or something. I don't know. I really don't.
I don't know either. It's not easy like Jordan Peele.
Yeah.
But
he's done a lot less. I mean, he's still around, but Jordan Peele being a director now, he's much bigger.
Yeah. And
everyone knows him more.
And his first movie was big. It was a big deal. Like, everybody was shocked he was doing horror. He was a director. Like, he made a jump after him and Key stopped doing Key and Peele.
Yeah. And I think that comedic horror thing goes hand in hand a lot more than most people think. Like, comedian directors, if you can call them that, always have some weird horror aspects in their shit. Harold Ramis, he directed and wrote a lot of movies, and like Ghostbusters is a good example. It's a comedy, but it's got a lot of like horror aspects in it. So I don't know. Like, oh no, that was Ivan Reitman that directed it, but he wrote that movie with Dan Aykroyd, I believe. But anyway, he always did shit like that, and
his name is Keegan, by the way.
Okay, there we go. Keegan what?
Keegan Michael Key.
Okay, because I knew Key had to be in his name.
Oh yeah, it had to be right.
But yeah, so an interesting transition for Jordan Peele, and at one time he was even attached to like bringing back Tales from the Crypt.
Really?
Which was something I was really fucking excited about, and like he wasn't gonna be like the showrunner, but him and a couple other horror. There was another name attached to it, but anyway, I would have loved to have seen that because I loved Tales from the Crypt as a kid,
especially with his take on stuff.
Yeah,
because I like his movies and his ideas. I don't think they always pan out, but I do like his movies are always testing something like different.
Yeah,
and I really like him. I like his style, I guess, and the actors he chooses.
Yeah. He definitely, and he kind of knocks it out of the park with that all 3 times. Like, everyone in the movie does a really good job. And you can say that across the board. There's really no one that stands out as a stinker, really.
No.
Like, which is good. And they all have their own style. And you can feel his influences, I think, really strongly. Like, with Get Out, I feel the Wes Craven thing. With Us, I feel kind of the John Carpenter influence there. Nope is really the only one that I really can't feel an influence of, but Maybe if I thought harder about it, I could. I don't know.
Is it the suits you're talking about? Because they wear just a red jumpsuit, which is parallel to what Michael wore.
Kinda, but not really. It's more of the weird underworld element that John Carpenter usually throws in his movies here or there with Us, and it's also down to like cinematography and atmosphere. He kind of captures a lot of that shit. The jumpsuits, though, are iconic in their own way. Like, they stand out. So that's cool.
But that's why I thought it was like an ode to that, because
it could be.
They're very similar to what he wore, just red.
Yeah, it definitely could be.
But anyways, so starting off this, we're going into 2017's Get Out. This movie, he kind of uses, well, he's done 3 movies, but he's so far now used 2 of the same leading actor, which is Daniel, forgive me again for pronunciation, Kaluuya.
I think that's how you say it. I don't know, though.
He does great in this movie. Also with Rose Armitage, Dean Armitage, the whole Armitage family.
Bunch of dicks. Bunch of fucking dickheads.
So, what do you think about it?
I don't love it as much as most people love it. I do think it's good, but you'll always hear people be like, "Oh my God, Get Out is so fucking great." And I'm always like, it's good. It's a good movie. I don't know that it's that like so wild we need to scream and shout about it all the time. But I do enjoy it. I think it's an interesting twist on, dare I say, racism. Maybe not a twist, maybe just more realistic than we'd care to admit. But definitely a trip. Movie is definitely a trip. A lot of twists and turns, I'd say.
I like this movie. I think this is his best movie. I do like the twist in it. I think Daniel's performance in it is great. Like when he's sitting there in the chair, just tears running down his face. Like it looks like he's terrified. And whatever's going on, just the atmosphere and the weirdness of the movie. Yeah. Like at every turn, he sees something or you feel something's just off, but you can't put your finger on it the whole time.
Yeah.
Like I couldn't guess what was going on. Like when I watch movies like this that are, mind benders, I always try to think, what's something outlandish happening? But I could not the first time I watched it. I went in theaters and saw this one as well as all the others. No, I didn't see Nope. That's the only one. But when I saw it, I couldn't figure it out what it was. And so when the ending happens and they show you what they've been doing to people, I thought it was great. I thought it was so awesome, and I almost had hope for a minute that it was going to be one of those bad ending movies for me, So it, but I really liked it. It was when movies get me out of left field. Yeah. I like it, and you're right. It does touch on this weird racism, but like idolism, like they dehumanize you in a different way. Not like you're an animal, but like you're on this pedestal, so they still don't treat you like a normal person. It's like a weird reversal of racism, but it's still racist as fuck.
Oh yeah.
Like he's like, I would have voted for Obama a third time. So again, I think this movie was great. I think it was his best.
It's something I'll say about all 3 of the movies, but this one especially it's very tense a lot of the time. Like, because you are so uncertain of what's going on that you almost feel like you're along for the ride yourself, which you are. I mean, that's how it's supposed to feel as the viewer, but
for sure
he nails that in that regard. The atmosphere is unmatched, and that's probably why people love it so much, which I agree, but it's everything else to me that makes it. It's like nothing is too crazy in this film. It's fairly straightforward, which is why I like Us a little bit more, and we'll get to that. But Us throws so much weird shit at you, and it just reminds me of like a kickback to old 80s movies, old 80s horror movies. And this one, it does its thing well, but I don't know. I wouldn't say it's one of my favorite of the three. I like it more than Nope, but I find Nope more interesting. I don't know. It's weird. It's
That's
weird.
interesting.
It's weird. It's a weird dynamic, but I do think it's really good. But every time I think of Jordan Peele movies, for whatever reason, I never think of Get Out. I always have to remember that as the third one. I'm always like, Us?
Really?
Nope. Oh,
That's
Get
so
Out.
crazy.
Yeah, it's weird. It's weird. But
I mean, I think Allison Williams' acting also was fantastic.
yeah.
I thought it was the way she played it and how she went kind of, flipped the switch.
Yeah.
I thought it was really good. Like she pulled her hair back and wore a turtleneck to become super Karen bitch.
Yeah. She's probably the thing that throws you off the most, because you're not like, she does such a good job of disguising all of that shit in her faces and her facial features and the way she moves and just her many faces. I mean, I could try to put it in different words, but that's what it is. She has so many different shades and change of face through the movie that you're like, huh, did she actually just say that? Did she actually just do, what a bitch?
So what would you, so obviously this is your least favorite of Jordan Peele's movies, the way you're kind of talking about it. Not that you dislike it, but in the three that he's done, this is at the bottom.
I think it's a better movie than Nope.
Okay, but like, not as interesting.
But it's not as interesting. Like Nope goes there in a bunch of ways, but this just reminds me of even though it's not as horror based, even though it has that thriller edge to it, but it reminds me so much of People Under the Stairs in a lot of ways. And he was attached to maybe be remaking that movie, and that is not mind-blowing to me at all, based on the feel that I get of Get Out. And I love People Under the Stairs, so I don't mean that as a slight, but it's like, because it reminds me of something like that, I don't think it's as interesting as Nope, because Nope doesn't remind me of anything. Nope feels very unique to me. I mean,
yeah, that's a way of putting it.
Yeah,
I mean, one way to put
whether it's good or bad in that regard is completely, whatever. But I'm just saying, like, Get Out, everyone acts like it's super rare, but it's kind of familiar territory in some regards. We've seen movies like it before, I guess is what I'm saying. With Nope, we've seen alien movies before, but I don't think I've ever seen one like that. So I'm gonna just disagree with you on that. I think maybe the movie having this type of twist and a kind of the same atmosphere is familiar, but I think the way this movie plays out and the way the tension is built is not something that's been done before, because Jordan Peele has that ability to kind of mold this movie how he did, because he's black, so he knows the other side of things. And so when he did this movie and he rose that weird tension that I was talking about just earlier, I don't feel that's in movies like this, and that kind of added to the whole just insanity of the ending and the reveal of what's going on. Well, that's kind of what I meant when I brought up tension as the standout point. It's because that's literally what stands out, because the story itself is kind of familiar territory. So if he hadn't nailed the tension, I don't think the movie would be as well received by you, me, or the general public. Again, I don't want to paint the picture that I think this movie sucks. I don't. I think all three movies are good. It's a weird dynamic, because I love Us. I don't particularly love Nope, but those two, like I said, are my go-to Jordan Peele movies, because I feel
That is
I was if I was to suggest Jordan Peele movies to somebody, Get Out, I guess, would be the last on the list that I would suggest. I would be like, start with Us and then watch Nope, or vice versa, because Nope has been very divisive for me when I showed people. Like, I'm kind of lukewarm to not really liking it, where most people have been either lukewarm or they like it a lot, and I haven't really anyone say they don't like it. So it's just weird. I don't know. It's just an opinion thing, obviously. But,
yeah. Everything's opinion based here. But
I don't know. I think part of the problem. Well, we'll talk about that when we get to Nope. But for Get Out, overall, I still think it's probably a 7 out of 10 movie. I think it's really good still, or pretty good, maybe not really good, but pretty good. I mean, I like it. I think performances, tension, atmosphere, the way it's filmed, it's a good movie. I rewatch it on occasion, so I mean, it's definitely not something where I'm like, fuck that movie. I just wish it was a little more memorable, I guess. That's really all it is for me.
Interesting. I'm not too far from you. It's a 7.5. It'd probably be an 8.5 if it would have ended badly. For me, because the cynic in me loves that in movies, and that's, I think, is the biggest twist you can ever put in movies these days, because nobody does it.
Yeah.
But yeah, 7.5 for me. I think Get Out is really good. I do. I like it a lot, and I do enjoy it. When I watched it, I enjoyed it. When we did this rewatch for this, I was pretty excited to watch it again. And Nope, I was excited to watch that one again because I had seen it the one time. I wrote it off, didn't love it, didn't hate it, but now I feel like I have a more firm opinion. And so that brings us on to the next movie here. We've got Us, 2019. Another great casting. I don't know a lot of these actors that he picks. I never saw Daniel Kaluuya till Get Out. Lupita
Nyong'o? I don't know. She rules.
Again, our bad, but she rules.
Yeah.
So awesome. Like, great casting again. That one lady's face, Elizabeth Moss. I don't like her face. She's got a horror face just looking at her to me.
From Mad Men.
Yeah, and she's the wife of that Ritchie family. The Ritchie family. Yeah, no, I don't know why. Like, when she was playing the bad version of her, I was like, dude, just looking at you scares me.
She's got weird features.
I think it's like she could play like a scary witch. Like,
I could see that. Yeah,
I can see your kids.
She might.
Witch in like the movie Witch, like stirring that baby, like chopping it up. That's her. That was her.
I'm surprised she doesn't do more horror movies. She's a pretty good actress. She just...
Nothing on her acting. Just like the kid from Babadook. That kid scares me more than the movie did. Like, when he's sitting there screaming in the back of the car, I'm like, dude, somebody put this kid out.
Dude.
Jeez.
That's a movie that would be so much better had they chose any other fucking kid.
Oh my god.
He's so fucking annoying. And I know he's supposed to be. Yeah, he's supposed to be, so...
But like, dude, he scares me. If that was my kid, I'd be terrified. I'd be terrified of my own kid, like Jeffrey Dahmer's father terrified. For real. But back to Us. So, Aaron, I'll let you lead this one since this one is your favorite. So take us into Us. Why do you love this one so much?
There's a lot of reasons. Lupita Nyong'o, however you say her name, she's fucking great. Her facial expressions and the way she uses her eyes, I don't know. She really gives me that frightened feel, or shit's going down look. She kills that. Yeah. And I don't know. She is part of the reason I think it's so good, because she's carrying, when you find out the big reveal near the end, she's doing both parts, and it's, I don't know. She's crazy good, but overall the movie, it reminds me of old school 80s horror and maybe 70s horror, and I really love it because of that. It's weird. It's off the wall. it looks beautiful in so many shots. Just, I don't know. I love movies where this type of shit happens, where there's like doppelgangers and isolation with the way the movie is, you know, where they're on the island.
Yeah.
And shit's just, everything feels fucked for them, and they got to fight their way out. And I think the shit that they see unravel before their eyes is wild. And I don't know. I love it. I love a lot of it, and I think it's just mainly because, like I said, it reminds me of growing up with horror films and feeling his influence in the movie, because he's a big fan of a lot of the stuff we've talked about already.
You have to be.
He said so in the past, like, so, and I just feel it so much in Us, and it was never my favorite to begin with. I actually liked Get Out more up until last year, and then I just happened to watch Us like 3 times in a row. I watched it again for myself, and then I showed my brother and my dad, or I think my brother had already seen it, but my dad hadn't seen it, so we watched it, and then I showed one other person, and it was like 3 times in a row, but it was around that time I realized that I loved it. I don't know about you, I don't know how you feel, but I like it more than Get Out. I like it more than Nope.
Okay. So, all right. No, that's fine. Interesting that at first you didn't like it.
Yeah. It's not that I didn't like it. I just liked Get Out more.
Yeah. No, I mean, that's what's interesting, considering where Get Out, falls on kind of the third to second in between. Who knows where you're going to choose at the end. But,
yeah.
It's just crazy that your
my order might shock you.
It might shock me, but it is kind of crazy just when you go back. Like we talked in the bad albums thing, I have trouble with calling albums bad because I'll go back and be like, this album was shit, I'm gonna listen to it again, and I'm like, god damn, this album's so sick.
Yeah.
But
it happens.
Yeah. But that's interesting because I didn't like it when I first saw it. I went in theaters and saw it, did not like it. And then watched it again later, didn't like it, and then right now I watched it, and I watched it twice.
Mm-hmm.
Did not like it both times.
Interesting.
But I didn't like it, but I don't think it's a terrible movie.
But what don't you like about it?
So first off, I hate that he chose a family for this.
Why?
Because nobody died or got hurt, really. The only one that died was that stupid white family. I was glad, especially those weird twins.
Yeah.
Get them the fuck out of here. That was a great scene when those little girls come behind and it was a great scene.
Hell yeah.
But actually all their deaths were pretty great. But the family doesn't die, and there's not a point in the movie I feel there's real stakes for them. Like you see the dad get dragged away. You think something's going to happen. He gets knocked out, but he wakes up and pokes his little fingers out the bag and somehow makes it through it twice.
Well, I think the real stakes are like the global impact of what is happening,
But a family who's never fought like that in their life versus psychos who obviously are psychotic, but they out-trumped 2 different families. The first family who had them dead to rights, the second family that they stumbled on.
Yeah, but they're real. That's the point of the movie.
Yeah, but my point is I didn't feel any stakes. Even when they were running, when the daughter ran, and she obviously sent her daughter after her, and even during that whole scene, I did not feel any stakes to that scene. Like when she was running anything. Same with the dad, same with the son, which I'm going to pause this right here because I have a very important question. Is Adelaide the girl originally that was the puppet?
Yeah.
And they switched at that when they were younger in the house.
Yeah.
So they did switch.
Yeah, okay. She's really the villain, basically. That's what makes it so fucking good.
Okay, so hold on. Why does the other bitch sound like that then? That makes... Why? she obviously could talk when she was a little girl. But then she goes down there, and let's say she doesn't talk for a long time. But why does she sound like that?
Because it happened at a young age, and I'm pretty sure it shows her like crush her larynx or something in one scene in that movie.
Does it?
Yeah, like it explains why she talks like that.
She talks.
Yeah, because so she couldn't tell anybody, because like she had to learn how to speak like that, and like I think the movie could have sworn that the movie explained all that.
Maybe I missed it, but yeah. I don't remember that scene because I remember her being down there and then not sure what to do, and then she found her place as the ballerina, which I couldn't get past the puppet thing, like them being a puppet and they're just underground mimicking all these people while they're up top. So who's the real puppet? So they were created to puppet people to control them, but then they're the ones who are being puppeted, which I don't understand the connection of how that was possible. But again, it's a horror movie, suspense of disbelief. We'll get past that. I'll ignore that. But I just don't understand that part. But then all of a sudden they're okay to not do that. Like you see the scene, like even in the flashbacks when she's down there, and you see the scenes back of like young her when she's in there before she switches. Their dad, the underground dad, was acting out what the dad up top was. Yeah. But all of a sudden now they can go out up top and not reenact what the other people are doing. They do it. They can. You see them do it, but they don't have to. So I get confused about that part, and then it confuses me why the government created them to control people as puppets unless they were planning on doing a swap on them.
Well, it's because the only reason, and that's why they take orders from her, but the reason she's able to get out there and escape, because she's really the only one with the 3 doppelgangers of the family that escape and are doing the thing, is because she's from the real world. So she still remembers that she's not a doppelganger.
But it's a global thing, so not just her and the fam, everybody.
But from what we're seeing, I mean, well, yeah, but who knows what influence her actions have had is like what I'm saying. Because she brings the family with her and they revolt. And that's what's cool about the movie, is the dynamic of like the one up top being the one that was from down below, and the one from down below being from up top, and the two of them, having to flip-flop, and then they outsmart each other for a little bit in a way. It's like, I don't know. I think it's interesting.
I think there's just so much about the story I didn't understand.
Yeah.
And I get it. She might have changed the dynamic, but if they were designed for that, I just didn't understand where... Like, I remember the scene where apparently it must have happened when she was dancing and everybody gathered around her and told her that she was like a god.
Yeah.
Like, maybe that's when it happened. It just didn't land with me. Now, the dynamic you're talking about is cool.
Yeah.
Like, that's what I thought happened, and that's what I thought the whole ending was, but at the same time, I wasn't absolutely sure. Because even when I watched it my second time, I was like, is it really, though?
I think the smirk that she has at the end and like...
But it would explain why she was so terrified to go back.
Yeah.
To go back to that place. So,
Hey, and I'm no genius. There's probably some undertones to something in that movie that I didn't pick up on.
Maybe, yeah.
Or, I mean, admittedly, like I told you, I've seen them both a lot, so I didn't really rewatch any of them for this. I mean, but I watched them like last year. So, and I watch an absolute shitload of movies. So, it's hard for me to remember every little detail, but I was pretty sure they explained why she talked that way. And I was pretty sure they explained why or how they were able to escape from under there. But maybe they didn't. And like I said, I don't know. But
well, I wasn't worried about the escaping thing. My thing is how they stopped being puppets.
Yeah.
Or
I don't know.
If they were just doing that just to do it.
That part I don't remember, but
And then
if they explained it.
How are they making more clones? Are they banging?
I mean,
And
they
then
would have to
producing?
be.
Yeah, right?
Know.
That's
Or
so,
they're being manufactured after real world events, so they create a doppelganger after one. I don't know. I don't fucking know.
Look, here's the thing. There were just a lot of I don't knows. The movie had some cool things, but I didn't feel any stakes. And I do want to bring up there is a scene when the little boy gets taken that I want to point out. That I showed you right before we started, I think is hilarious.
Yeah.
It's a scene where they ask you to suspend disbelief so much that the underground Adelaide blended in so perfectly with a dark red Suburban that she appeared out of nowhere and was able to grab the kid like she was there the whole time. But if you go back and watch every scene right before it, she's not at any of them. And it's just funny. No knock on the movie. The movie gets the same rating if I hadn't seen that. But I just think it's one of those funny goofs.
You ever seen that College Humor guy? And he does the pitch meetings on YouTube.
Love it.
It's all the stuff you're saying right now is just making me think of him saying shit like, so the movie can happen. Because he's fucking funny with all that shit. He is
funny, that guy.
But yeah, I don't know. I don't overthink horror movies. I'm not saying you are per se, but I don't really overthink horror movies. I'm in it for like the atmosphere and, you know, the shots and the music and the tension and visually what it's going to do. And that's why I think Us stands out the most of the three, because it does a lot of wild shit visually. But I totally understand your gripes. I just don't really remember any of that shit to the extent where I can be like, yeah, this, and this, because I watched it. I mean, it really wasn't even that long ago. It was probably less than a year ago, like 6 months ago. But I should have rewatched them. I've been listening to Linkin Park. And, because I know we're getting ready for that episode. And it's like, when we do the episodes, I usually don't revisit shit that I'm super or fairly familiar with. And I felt like I remember all three of these movies pretty well, which I still feel that way. But there's going to be fine details here and there. Other than Nope. I know Nope like the back of my fucking hand because I've probably seen that movie the most out of the three. I've seen it like 6 or 7 times already. So that one I remember a lot of. But some of the stuff you were addressing there, like I said, I might be overlooking something. Or, like I said, I'm not a genius, so who knows? Maybe there's plot points and elements that I'm not remembering that explain that shit, or it's there for a reason, but either way. Beyond that, though, I give Us probably like a 9 out of 10. I really like it.
Wow.
I like it.
That is it's just a really high rating.
Yeah.
Like, you don't even sound like this movie's that great for you, but you give it a 9.
I mean, I felt like I've been singing nothing but praise, but okay. I talked about fucking, I like the fact that it's the family. I do like that. They're on the isolated island. New Pizza kills it. The storyline's unique. I like movies where it's flipped on you and you're like, oh, this is kind of the villain because she's the one that basically puts the events all in motion. And if you look at it that way, she fucked that other girl over just to live her life, and again, there could be something I'm missing, but just that aspect alone is dope to me. Dizzope.
Nick, give me another of your 9 movies. Like, give me another movie that you consider a 9. So I have some clarity on this.
Another movie I consider a 9.
Yeah, another number 9.
Horror movie? A comedy?
Let's keep it in horror just so it's fair.
Aliens.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
Aliens, Scream 2, Halloween 2018, Leprechaun in Space. I'm just
what the fuck?
I'm just joking about that last
We got to do an episode on those movies.
Oh, absolutely. Fucking lutely. I love those movies.
Hell yeah.
As bad as they are. I love them.
Leprechaun in the Hood.
That movie's awesome.
My favorite's always been 2.
2's good.
But
I love the first one too. They're cheesy. They know they're cheesy and they just roll with it.
hell yeah.
Yeah, I love that shit.
I'm going to give Us a 10 out of 10. But this movie, I'm going to give probably a 5.5.
Oh, you're giving Us a 10
Yeah,
out of
Us a 10, man.
But not Jordan Peele's
No,
Us.
Jordan Peele's Us can...
You're giving it a what?
5.5.
That is way too low.
No.
Come
There's
on,
too
man.
much of it that is just not for me. Like
I know
the
you
twist
said you
is
watched
cool,
it twice
but
already, but
the twist is cool, but I mean, there's just a bunch of it I don't care for.
all right, that's fair.
It was just like when I watched it this time, I was hoping for better. 5.5.
All right. Well, I guess that will elegantly take us on to what 2022.
2022.
All right.
Nope.
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 Jordan Peele's Nope.
Nope.
Well, let me just ask you this question with this movie.
Okay.
If you don't like Us that much, where does Nope lie? I mean, you don't have to give your ranking until the end, but you have to like this one more than Us, I imagine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But not much.
So, are you not a fan of Jordan Peele then?
I am. I like his ideas, and like I said, I think my biggest problem with Us and with Nope are probably just minor details to most. Like, I don't feel like I understood enough of what was happening in Us for them. Like, there were things like those questions I asked you.
Okay.
There was that. There was just some other... I don't like that the family, all of them lived. Every single one of them. The worst thing the dude had was a limp that he only had partially sometimes. I mean, it's just... I don't like that. I felt like for a horror movie, there has to be stakes. And if you kill the only obvious people that you were going to kill, it makes for no stakes.
Okay, but let's evaluate that real quick.
Okay.
I got some shit for you.
Let's shit it out.
So, Scream.
Okay.
Okay? No one in the main cast dies in that movie. Sydney doesn't die. Courtney Cox doesn't die. Jimmy Kennedy doesn't die. Fucking David Arquette doesn't die. Okay? So here's the question I give to you.
Okay.
Why does that affect the outcome of the movie? Because you still see a fair amount of carnage in Scream, right? And there's the twist, the misdirect, the tension.
Remember when we were talking earlier and I told you I kind of set Scream in a different horror kind of category than this movie would? Scream is aware of itself. It's got that meta that kind of changes that view of it.
Yeah, but
Us is taking itself seriously without that meta. So,
but one is a slasher where there's a clear mission to murder as many people as possible, and no one in the main cast dies. But in Us, that's not the intent of the family. Is out to survive the situation. So, like, I don't know. I just feel like you're being unfair against it in that regard.
The family had them dead to rights, but not one of them, when they're psychotic as hell, could not even get one of that family.
But again, that family has been on the outside world. They have like home field advantage. You get me? Like they've been up above. So saying that like just because they're psychotic doesn't make them geniuses. It doesn't make them fucking like experts of their environment. You know.
Well, my thing is, but to counter that, the underground people knew the area too. They were able to run and get everywhere they were before them in a kind of Halloween-y way. Yeah. So, but let me ask you something. In the first Halloween, how many people died?
It's like 3 people.
How many of them were mains?
None of them remains because that's not a thing. That's the point that I'm trying to make to you. The main people don't die.
Then it's got no stakes.
That's not true, though. This is not true. Like, it's because it's big picture stakes. It's the same thing with us. Like, no, we don't see Laurie Strode die. We don't see the neighborhood girls die, but her best friends are killed. And if Michael's not taken out, he's a threat to the rest of society in Haddonfield. He's out there murdering teenage girls, you know. So just because our mains don't die, the stakes are still there. They're her friends. She's still being hunted by him. She just has the wherewithal to survive, as would any final girl, because the movie needs to happen. like our good friend over there.
I guess I chose the wrong one. Rant. I guess I chose the wrong two. Maybe Friday the 13th and Nightmare on Elm Street.
Okay, those are great examples. Well, Nightmare on Elm Street is the same thing, because the final girl is Nancy and her friends around her are being murdered, but she never dies. So like,
but I don't expect the main character is.
But the family is the main character. That's the point that I'm illustrating. Like, they're not gonna die. They're the final family. They're like, you know, like, which one of them would die in that situation? Like, let's think about film and the history. They're not gonna kill the little boy because people are pussies. Okay, even though it's just a movie, they're still not gonna do it because they're like, oh my god, look at a boy die. The teenage girl is not gonna die because
maybe she wasn't a virgin.
We already saw it happen in the movie with the two teenage twin girls, and that's cliche for the teenage girl to die, right? The husband's probably not going to die, but that's why he was injured the hardest.
See, he could have died.
He could have been the only expendable one in the group, but I thought he was.
And
funny.
I think that's an okay thing.
I don't know.
I feel it would have made it better, and it would have made it seem way more.
Name a movie.
Okay,
let's do this. 4. Name a movie. Oh, by the way, let me address the Friday the 13th thing, by the way.
Yeah.
Those movies are not pitched where there's a main person to follow, really. You know, going into a Jason movie, that pretty much everyone's fodder, even potentially the fucking final girl of the film. Because, like, the first Friday the 13th, everyone's getting axed. Jason, yeah. You know, it's the mom, and just everybody's getting axed. So I don't think those movies are set up in the same way. They do have final girls, like all of them, but they're never back for the second one, for the one after. You know, it's like true survivor shit, or Texas Chainsaw Massacre. That's a good one. That should be your example. Is like,
I got one for you.
Yeah,
Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
You son of a bitch.
Ace in the hole.
No, but that's a good example for you. Like, you're looking for movies where no one lives.
Well, not no one, but I mean somebody dies that obvious. Other than like when you watch Us, and it's a horror movie, the second you meet that white family,
yeah,
you kind of want them to die.
But that's what I mean by Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Like, only the one girl survives of like the 6, you know. So like they all get fucking obliterated, and then she's the only survivor, and she comes back later. Like, she's like a main character in the more recent Netflix one. The character.
Oh, really?
Hardesty or whatever her name is. Yeah. But anyway,
that's cool.
That's why I was bringing it up. That's why I was going to ask you, can you think of a movie where everyone dies? Like, everyone? Because I'm here for it. I always say that in movies, like myself. Like, is there a movie where the villain just completely wins and everyone's fucked? I can never think of one.
Valentine's Day?
It comes up a lot. Valentine. The one with, like, Denise Richards and David Boreanaz or whatever?
Maybe.
Out of all the fucking movies. Oh, fuck yeah. I could have seen that not going that direction.
I got some bangers for you, like Phil Collins' Tarzan album.
Apparently. Oh, man. I forgot to bring that up to your brother the other day. I wanted to get his thoughts. Can you fucking believe he brings up the Tarzan soundtrack?
It's my brother.
Phil Collins.
So, yes, he will believe it.
He would believe it. He'd probably agree.
He does. I bet you he does.
Yeah, that's good. That's good stuff. I didn't expect Valentine's Day to be pulled up.
I don't remember if it does, but it's one of those holiday named horror movies I know that everybody dies, I think, where the killer wins.
Interesting. I'll have to rewatch that movie. I have not seen it in a shitload of time. Back when I had a huge crush on Denise Richards, when I was younger, I watched it just because she was in it. But yeah, I don't know. Anyway, now that we're talking about Nope, because that's actually where we are. We just went back to us again. Nope has a lot of weird ideas, and I don't think they always land, but I appreciate them. I think they're interesting. I don't necessarily love this movie. Like I said, my ranking is going to shock you at the end of this episode, but I do think Nope has some really great scenes, and Keke Palmer, she's fucking awesome. I mean, I don't know. I really like the lead actresses he's been picking for his movies. I want to see them do more. I want to see them in more things. And I have with Lupita. I haven't really seen a lot with Keke, but I plan on it. But yeah, I don't know. There's a lot to say about Nope, I guess. If you haven't seen it out there, it's a alien movie, and it's a weird one at that.
Unique. It's probably one of the most unique alien takes.
Yeah.
Like playing on the UFO thing.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it doesn't land. It's crazy because the Steven Yeun story, what's his name in this? Jubilee.
Jubilee?
It's something like that. This is
the Jordan Peele episode, not the X-Men episode.
It's all right.
I'm just kidding.
Jubilee, it's whatever. It's Jupe. Ricky Jupe is what he goes by in this. But his story with the monkey.
Yeah. The best scene in the whole movie.
Yeah, it was. And it's weird how that kind of works out. That in this whole crazy movie he does with these outlandish ideas, in there he has a pretty basic idea that's better than what the overall movie ended up being. Like that scene where he's under the table and he's staring at the shoes sitting straight up with the blood splattered on
it. Yeah,
like that was a great scene.
It
was an absolutely fantastic scene. And I love the acting. I think Steven Yeun did a great job. He's a standout in this movie for me, for sure.
I didn't care for him.
Really? He had this, I don't know, he had this, like I told you earlier, he has a thing about him, the acting that he did was great. Like,
no, I just mean the character. Like, I didn't trust him from the minute the camera showed him. I don't know why.
No.
But I was like, I don't know if we're supposed to, but there's just something off about him. The performance was good, but I don't know. I didn't care for his character because I didn't feel like we needed him. He felt unnecessary. I feel like he was like thrown in there to give, I don't know, just another aspect of the story, I guess, but I didn't really like him overall in the movie. I thought the storyline with Keke Palmer and her brother and, their father passing away and doing what they did, I thought all that was pretty interesting and good enough setup. His involvement, I could have, gone either way with, but I think, I don't know. He served his purpose, I guess, but the monkey scene is far and away the best thing he's involved with, even though he's just a little boy at the time.
And like I said, I like how he tells the story when Keke Palmer's character asks him about it.
Yeah.
And just this kind of weird look he has on his face while he's also explaining the SNL skit about it.
Yeah.
I don't know. It was weird. The whole thing was weird when I was watching it earlier. I couldn't put my finger on it again. I've seen the movie, but it just the atmosphere he set in that scene was great. And how awkward he made it, even though he was so lighthearted about it.
Yeah.
Like, Keke caught up on him and she's like, oh, yeah, I'll have to look that up on YouTube or something. But outside of that, I like the way their father died. I like the idea that he did set up with the Hollywood horses that they use in movies.
Yeah.
Never thought about that.
That's pretty cool.
It's never a thing I thought about in Hollywood, like the animal people who bring these animals in and like use them for Hollywood. Like, it was a cool kind of angle.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'm Daniel Kaluuya is great in this again. I liked him.
He was good in the movie. His character seemed, and it was supposed to, but his character seemed so disinterested in his environment the whole time. And as the lead of the movie, because he is, I don't know. I didn't really like his energy, I guess. I think the actor did a great job because he's totally different than he is in Get Out.
Yeah, yeah.
And I mean, that just shows how good of an actor he is. But his energy bothered me in the movie. He had his moments, though. The scene where he says nope is a great fucking scene.
Yeah, when he looks out the truck, looks up. Nope.
Yep. Well, he does it twice then, I guess, because he does it in the scene with the little alien scare in the farm.
That's right, he does.
Yeah.
And Kiki does it once.
Yeah.
When he asks her, he's like, what do they call a bad miracle? And she goes, nope.
Yeah.
It was good.
But that scene in the farm is fucking really well done. And we were talking about it before we hit record that I love it because as the audience, it works in two ways because we're wanting it to be the alien from the UFO thing, and that might be the big reveal moment. And then just like he's scared when he says nope, Jordan Peele's also like, oh, you want aliens? Nope.
Nope.
And it's fucking perfect.
No,
and it's like
great.
It's nothing like the alien that we actually get because, which is weird. Yeah. Well, it's weird because as the viewer, it's like, would we be satisfied if we were getting little space grays? I don't know. But I gotta think, me personally, it's more exciting than the saucer alien fucking sand dollar.
So it's a great concept.
I don't know.
And I agree with you. I don't know if it would have been better with little green men running around. I don't know. Yeah. But it just didn't land with this creature.
It didn't.
Like I said, it was a cool twist on the UFO thing, the flying UFO, but it's not a fucking spaceship. It's a fucking alien.
Eating people was cool though. Like
that was so weird.
It was weird,
sucked through the tube, and like at the end when it's like doing its little and it's like pushes out that square that comes out into those frilly ends, and then it pushes out another, and it pushes out another.
And the way you find out that Jubilee or whatever is fucking feeding it is very video gamey. It reminded me of some Resident Evil shit or something, where you find out like, oh shit, this guy's just been fucking sacrificing all these people.
Weird reveal.
Thing.
Like it's weird he that's why his character was so good, because he invited them to watch it.
Yeah. And they were like, nope. Wise to them.
Yeah. So
but the movie does have a lot of good scenes, and it's funny as I sit here and I talk about it with you, I might like it more than I let on, and I think it's gonna fall into that Stanley Kubrick category for me, where I like love and hate him, where I'm like, I don't see the big fucking deal, and then the other part of me where I'm like, hell yeah. I think Nope may be one of those movies. I don't know. I like being challenged as the viewer. Like, that movie throws me for several loops, and it's like, yeah, I don't like the alien, and I don't really like Jubilee's part in the movie, but other than that, I'm gonna just keep calling him Jubilee because it makes me laugh.
That's fine.
But other than that, like, I like the movie. Other than that, what was this guy's name again? Michael from The Crow. I talked about. I like him. The director guy.
Michael Wincott.
Michael Wincott.
Antlers Holst.
I think his character is cool too. I like that, where they're like, hey, we want to capture this thing on camera. Let's go to this Hollywood director who's amazing at doing just that. And then he eventually does come and he fucking dies doing it. But that actor, I love that guy. Fucking top dollar in The Crow. He's a great actor. He's also in Talk Radio and Metro with Eddie Murphy. He doesn't get enough credit. He's fucking great.
I don't understand the point of him running out on that hill and recording that.
He's trying to get the perfect shot. That's what he's known for.
But he knew he was going to die.
Maybe he didn't care. He's old as fuck. He'd done everything he needed to do. He seemed bored in all the other scenes we saw him in. You know, it seemed like he was living vicariously through that last moment. Like,
maybe, but
this is the one shot that would fucking...
But they never got it because fucking Keke Palmer's character gets the shot from the well camera.
Which is sick.
It is
well, it's
sick.
like, yeah, it's like, well, I mean, you know, not everyone who's going to be sacrificing themselves for something may not succeed, but their sacrifice makes it so somebody else can. And without his distraction, Keke Palmer ain't getting those shots. She's getting eaten herself. And I think that's the significance there.
Well, no, because that happened earlier on. He did it. I don't know. I honestly don't 100% know why he all of a sudden got up and ran out from under their cover and ran up on the hill and just started recording it.
Like I said, I mean,
maybe
to get the shot is the only thing I can think of.
It might be, but
because he didn't get it before that, or maybe he just wanted more. Maybe he was hungry for more. I don't know.
Might have been. I mean, you were right. He wasn't screaming in fear when he did that. That's for sure. He was getting off.
And he does seem like he's tired of his job, basically, when we are introduced to him. So
yeah,
I think that was just the thrill for him, the thrill of the hunt.
It probably was. That extra guy from Fry's, which Fry's Electronics, shout out to you guys. I thought you were dead.
I don't know. Is that a California thing?
Maybe it is, yeah.
I've never been there. It
used to be the hub to go build computers, get computer parts, games, movies, everything.
Like the Best Buy of...
it's like a department store.
But bigger than that.
Yeah, like huge.
I know cool. I see people always post, even still, like, oh, I found... all these movies and shit, or action figures and shit online, but
you can find a lot of niche shit from movies from them.
Yeah,
like versions of it you might not have seen before or something like that. They're known for that, but they're expensive.
Yeah.
But if they're still around, which obviously they are.
Yeah, I guess.
But
so.
That character, what'd you think about him? His name is Angel.
Yeah, I know him from something else too, but I don't remember what it was. I recognized him. I'm like, oh yeah, that guy, when he came on screen, but I couldn't tell you what it is now. He was fine.
Twisters?
No, that was more recent. Fucking huge fuck you to that movie. That movie sucks. I don't know why everybody likes that movie.
He's not in a lot.
Doo-doo stew.
Twisters, Amp House Massacre, Nope, Delivery, American Insurrection, Oh Sorry, Doom Patrol, The OA.
All right, so maybe I've never seen him in shit, and that's fine.
I couldn't recognize him in anything.
I didn't have a problem with him, but
he was just kind of a throwaway.
He was just there.
Yeah, he was kind of a throwaway character. I think he had an idea, but it just didn't land. Like, it was very unique, and it's cool that it was unique, but it didn't make up for just kind of how also lame it kind of was.
Right. Yeah, I mean
it's bad when that sub story about the monkey is better than what came out.
I mean, you could probably do that with any movie though. Like, why is that character there? You don't need to be there. Not necessarily, but I don't know. I digress.
Well, what do you rate this movie then, Aaron?
I'd probably give it like an 8.
Nice.
Because it's a good movie.
Okay.
My dislike of it is not because of anything other than, like, there's no real like standout things to me other than the couple things we talked about. The monkey scene, the farmhouse scene, and the end where Keke Palmer is running to get the shots. I think. Oh, and I like that one scene where they're making a lot of noise to get its attention or whatever in the house. And that whole scene is pretty interesting. Or they come to the realization that the noise is what's bringing them there or whatever. Mm-hmm. That all is pretty cool too. Like I said, it's not a bad movie, and I do feel it's about an 8. So when I rank the 3 movies, it's number 2. It goes Us, Nope, and Get Out. That's my order.
Interesting.
Which is weird because, again, if people ask me, I'm gonna be like, I don't know, I don't really like Nope that much, but I give it an 8.
That is odd. It's very contradictory, but
I don't think so because I'm just being unbiased. Like, I think as a movie, and for someone who's not watching movies all the time, that movie would probably blow your mind, or you'd really like it, you know.
maybe.
But and I'm not trying to say like I'm on the pedestal of, well, I watch so many movies, so
I am a movie connoisseur.
I'm not saying that either. I'm just saying, like, I can step back and say it's good for all these reasons, and it's an 8 out of 10 for all those reasons. And, I might want to give it a lesser rating, but I can't. So it just wouldn't be right.
I will say they did try to do a node to an anime movie in this. Keke Palmer riding the motorcycle at the end when she does her little slide. Yeah. Akira, everybody says it different. I think it's Akira.
I'm white, so I don't fucking care.
I'm white. But it was cool.
Yeah.
It was cool.
I like a lot about it, but my biggest takeaways from the 3 movies in general are, like you mentioned, I like that Jordan Peele went from being, really involved in comedy to being almost solely involved in horror so far as a filmmaker. It's crazy. And then shout outs to Lupita and Kiki. I think they both killed it as lead characters. I want to see many more
Daniel.
movies with them. Yeah, he's good too. I'm really tired of male leads being the big focus, and I think it's cool when there are badass women, in those roles. And I'm not even just saying that. I really think we need more of it, like, because there's so many movies where the male lead is he's fucking awesome, and he is fucking awesome. Don't get me wrong, he kills it. But the two of them, I don't know, they don't even seem like they're acting. It seems so natural for them, especially Keke Palmer. Like, I don't know, it just seems really natural. So I gotta give shout outs to all that, but overall, his 3 movies for me, 7 out of 10. I think he's good. If I just combined all those ratings and give him one blanket rating as a filmmaker, that's what I'd say. I think he's good. Can't wait to see what else he does.
I give Nope a 6.5.
Interesting.
I like it. It's got cool stuff, but overall, it didn't land at all. I didn't like the alien.
Yeah.
I like the idea, the kind of flip he did, like I said, but I didn't think it landed for me, which, playing the devil's advocate here, I still don't know if it would have been better if he would have done Little Aliens, or what else he could have done, so it's hard to say. It's hard to say for me, but yeah, it just didn't land for me. I like a lot of things about it, but in the end, I probably won't watch this movie for a long time. I won't recommend it. But it's not a bad movie. I'd give him probably a 7, Jordan Peele, because I feel like his next movie, if he does another horror, he'll nail it.
Interesting. Have you seen People Under the Stairs?
No, I don't think I have.
Okay. But I was going to say, what do you think about him potentially helming that? But
I mean, if he's behind it, I've got more faith than I ever did on the people did the fucking Exorcist. Believer.
Oh, Believer.
What
David Gordon Green.
Yeah, David Gordon, get the fuck out.
He fucked up the Halloween movies too.
Same with that comedian who turned horror writer.
There you go.
What's his
Danny
name?
McBride.
Danny McBride.
Yeah.
He did okay with Resurrection. Didn't he also do the 2018 Halloween with David Gordon Green?
He did Halloween 2018, Halloween Kills, and Halloween Ends.
And then he did Believer.
And I think he wrote some of Prometheus.
I don't think he wrote Prometheus. I think it was
he did one of the Alien movies.
He was the one he was in the sequel to Prometheus, Covenant.
Covenant.
Yeah. So he did a jump too. He was a comedian actor, but he went to the more writing role than the director. But he just did not, outside of 2018's Halloween. I dislike those other ones. Halloween Kills has some cool things about it. Halloween Ends, thank God it ended. Should have ended sooner. And Believer's the worst thing ever.
McBride is part of a writing troupe or whatever you could say. So he's like one of 3 writers that wrote those movies.
Yeah. So him and David Gordon Green, and I don't know who the third is, but I don't want to know his name.
I don't even think Gordon Green wrote the trope I'm talking about. They wrote 2018 Kills and Ends, and by Ends there was 4 of them, which is wild. And like Gordon Green's another good example. He was also a comedic director that rolled over to horror.
Really?
And because he directed Pineapple Express.
So he can make movies.
Yeah, he's capable. That's what's so devastating about... Well, this is like Halloween Ends tries to do the biggest bullshit that you can do in a fucking horror movie. So...
I can't... Oh, man. We're not on that movie, but I got things to say about that movie.
We will be on that movie. We will be.
Yes, we will. But yeah. I have faith in Jordan Peele. I think even though I may not like Us very much and I don't rate Nope very high, I still think he has the potential to make another hit like Get Out for me. Yeah. And I think he, obviously, as we talked with musicians and directors, not everything's going to be a hit for everybody. And so he had a couple maybe little slumps, but he tries something different. He doesn't just, I like it. I like him, and I think whatever he does next will be good.
I asked you about People Under the Stairs because A, he is supposed to supposedly remake it, but B, it's very racially driven, just like most of the themes in his movies.
Yeah.
So I think we'll have to watch it.
Okay.
We're gonna do some of the Wes Craven stuff near Halloween, so maybe that'll be one of them. I think people might like to hear that, because if you've never seen it, that's actually really exciting. That's why we're going to redo the David Lynch shit, because you having not seen any of that and not actually knowing what someone means when they say, oh, that's very Lynchian. I can't wait. That big reveal is going to be fucking great. I think it's going to blow your mind. And Jordan Peele will do some of that too. Like super surreal. We'll have to come back to it when we talk about David Lynch, but Jordan Peele definitely influenced by him, even, you could say. Just, you'll see what I mean. But yeah, I mean, I think he has potential as well, and I like him. I think there's a lot of filmmakers out there that don't have the chops that he already has 3 movies in.
Absolutely.
So I'm excited for his future. I am a filmmaker.
I am too. I'm definitely, whatever he comes out with next, I'll definitely be watching.
Yeah. I've seen all 3 of them in the theater, so.
I only didn't see Nope, but I got no excuse.
Nah.
No excuse.
Came out during the pandemic, I think.
Was it?
Didn't it?
2022? Was 2022 still?
Wasn't that the end of it? I don't know.
Man, that's a blur.
Time makes no sense.
That was a blur to me anyways now, when I think about it. I think just because the insanity was so unbelievable.
It was. Well, everyone, that's Jordan Peele.
Jordan Peele, tell us what you think. What's your favorite? Let us know. What do you think about us?
Leave us a comment. Let us know what order you rank his movies in. Mm-hmm. If you don't like one of them, let us know that too. We'd like to get to a point where we're reading comments and addressing that shit and talking back to you. But until you're comfortable, we get it. Deep Dive episode 11. Jordan Peele.
11.
I think it's 12, actually.
I think I was just about to say, I thought we said 12 earlier.
Yeah.
But either way, we're in this for a while.
Absolutely.
Anyways, guys, thanks for joining. This is another episode of Deep Dive. Check us out, Twitter, all the platforms that have podcasts, YouTube.
Literally all of them.
So check us out. But have a great night. This is your boy Rex.
And your boy Prack. We will see you next week.
Next week.
For that side dive.
Diving deep.